What is going on, everybody, and welcome to today's video with me, your friendly neighborhood pirate Wardbikes. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best method to train your attack, your strength and defense, so your 3 melee combats, your range, your mage, and the best point method at Nightmare Zone. So let's get right into this. So I do know this video is a little bit long, so there will be in the description links that take you to each part of the guide individually, so the melee, mage, range, and points. So if you're just looking for a individual one, you can just scroll down there and then you can get to each individual one down in the description. Okay, so we're going to be starting off here doing the melee setup. So we're going to have Darox, as Darox is the best thing to do here. If you don't have the Darox, you can use, for example, like a whip, and just like, if you like a pure or something, just use your best pure gear with a whip instead of the Darox here. But I'm just going to be going over this just using the Darox, that is the best method. So we have Darox Helm, Fire Cape, Amulet of Torture, any blessing, but I have the Ancient Blessing here. We have Darox Great Axe, Darox Plate Body, Darox Legs, Barrows Gloves, Primordial Boots, and a Berserkering Eye. Any of this gear that you can, like if you can't afford it, and you just have, like if you want, for example, don't have Primordials, you can just use Dragon Boots, that's completely fine. The only things that I would say for this that are like really quote-unquote necessary would be the Darox, but of course, as I said, if you do not have the level to actually use Darox, if you're like a pure or something, then just put on like the best gear that you can for DPS, and then just have like a whip and defender, some void, or if you're like one defense pure, just put on the best gear that you can put on, like some monk robes or something, and just go from there. Just take away the Darox and put a whip defender or dragon skimmy defender, whatever's the best that you can do for your account. And then in the inventory here, we're going to have ourselves 9 absorption potions, 3 overload potions, 12 prayer potions. We're going to have ourselves a granite maul and an ancient mace. Now, you don't have to have the ancient mace. I like to bring it because there's a single, you'll see inside of Nightmare Zone, there's these 4 like kind of ball things that hover. When it comes to XP, there's only one that you actually care about, which is a yellow one, which is the power surge. That makes it so that you can basically, for X amount of time, just spec infinitely. So why we have the ancient mace is that we can use that to get some free prayer back. We can spec a couple times with that, get our prayer up, and then we can switch over to the granite maul and just keep specking with that until it runs out, because the granite maul will give a lot of experience. The ancient mace just gives you a bit more prayer, so that you can just like have more prayer. That is why I bring it. If you don't like have the ancient mace, it doesn't actually matter. You can just bring another prayer potion in its place. It is up to you. We also have a rock kick, as we'll want to be at 1 HP, hence why we have the Darox, and we have a holy wrench, as it saves prayer potions, and it'll average out to be just a little bit, like bringing in the extra prayer potion will just, it'll give you a little bit more prayer than the holy wrench would, but it also costs another prayer potion every single time you do it, so the holy wrench really isn't that bad, and banking, it doesn't really take much time at all. So you'll want to have yourself a custom Rumble hard mode that you just talk to this guy over here. You can click on him, click Dream, and then just make a custom Rumble hard mode. Then you'll just have to pay him 26k coins. And then for the bosses that you'll want Count Draenor from the Vampire Slayer quest. I have looked into the Cursed Tides guy. He is also super easy to get, but Count Draenor is a little bit better as he has more HP. There's the Tree Spirit here from the Lost City. There's Khazar Warlord from Tree Gnome Village. There's Bouncer from the Fight Arena. And there is the Black Demon from the Grand Tree quest. This is like the old, like these are like the ones that most people have used and like do use. These are just because they're like the good ones to use in here. They're just good experience, easy to hit. They don't have any like weird mechanic at all. They're just super good for melee XP. So you'll just want to enter, like have these all in, accept, and then you will come inside of here, and then you'll have a little bit of time to prepare. So we'll just drink a overload dose, and overloads last for 5 minutes, and then we'll just let it do its thing, because it'll take us down to 51 H, or it'll take us down by 51 HP, sorry. Then we'll want to drink up a couple of absorption potions, and then just start spam guzzling your rock cake so that you get down to 1 HP. Then we'll just keep doing this. Sorry if you hear me clicking, but well, you gotta guzzle the rock cake. So now we're down to 1 HP. So now we'll just want to drink up our absorption potions until we have 1,000 absorption up here. So we'll just keep spam drinking until everything spawns. Now you can see our stuff is spawned, so now we'll just simply put piety on, and just put on whichever style you want to train in. Every 20 or 30 seconds or so, you'll have to flick rapid heal here, or your HP will go up to 2. If your HP goes up to 2, then you'll take 2 damage off of your absorption here. But as you can see, if I only have 1 HP, the max that they can hit me is a 1, so the max absorption I can actually lose is 1. So that is why I do this. So yeah, basically it's the same idea as if you were doing mole or anything like that. Just every 20 to 25 seconds, just flick rapid heal so that your health doesn't get to 2. Leave piety on, and that's about it. Just make sure that whenever your overload does like finish, that you do re-overload, or you'll go up to 51 HP. And then you will be able to get hit super hard. So just whenever your overload is about to finish, just make sure that you re-overload. Next to that, other than the power surge, it's nothing like very complicated with these guys. Just sit here and do damage to them. Leave your piety up, make sure that you drink your prayer, and that's basically about it. And then doing this method can get you upwards of 100k plus experience per hour in either strength, melee, or defense, saying that you do have this is based on fairly good gear, but if you want to, you can just have, like, for example, as I said earlier, like a Fury and stuff like that, and you'll still be able to hit that 100k like easily. And having 99 stats, if you have, like, let's say 90 or 80, you might be looking more at like 90k XP per hour. But still, 90k XP per hour is not bad at all, and this place is very, very AFK to do. And just sorry about that power surge that I was talking about. No, I actually didn't get a power surge, I got a recurrent damage. So you'll see something like this that pops up though, and it'll be yellow, and if you hover over, it'll say power surge. Then you want to click on that, and then you'll be able to have the infinite spec for, like, I think it's about 30 seconds or so. So yeah, if you see one that's yellow, or if you'll see it pop up in your chat box, power surge, that's the one you want to use. The rest of them, they don't help you at all for experience, so it's just, instead, just sit there and just do, because it's not worth my time running over here, clicking on this and doing, and then going back to them, as I'm not actually getting any experience off of like using this or any of the other two, so you only want to use the power surge. Okay, and then here we are with the magic setup. So we're going to have ourselves the best gear that I can get, at least. If you have, for example, Ancestral, do that. If you have the wand from Raids, I can't remember the name of it, do use that. But obviously those are like 100 mil per piece type thing, so I don't actually have any of that. This is the best that I have, but if you can afford any of that, do upgrade and downgrade as your bank allows. But for now, so we have the Arms Hood, we have the Sardom Cape. This is from the Major League Arena 1, because I haven't actually done Major Arena 2. If you have the Major Arena 2 cape, just bring that. A Cult Necklace. We have a Blessing. Any Blessing works here. We have a Master Wand, just so we can auto-cast the spell. We have Arms Rope Top. By spell, I mean the Ancient Magic spells, sorry. We have the Arms Rope Top, Arms Rope Skirt, Malediction Ward, Barrow's Gloves, Eternal Boots, and then a Seer's Ring. Now, I would recommend bringing Eye, but I actually don't have the Eye yet, but yeah, if you have the Eye, do bring that. And then, as I said, upgrade and downgrade this gear as your bank allows. And then we will be bringing a Smoke Barrage. Now, that's if you have 86 magic. If you don't, you can use Smoke Burst. Smoke Burst should get you somewhere around 170k experience per hour. Smoke Barrage should get you somewhere around 250 to 260k experience per hour, so it is a pretty big difference. But if you obviously don't have the 68 for the Smoke Burst, for the Smoke Barrage, sorry, then just use the Smoke Burst instead. And obviously we'll have to have Agents unlocked to be able to do this method. For the inventory, we're bringing 3 overloads. I base all this off of just bringing overloads just for an hour, so that is why I always bring 3 overloads. We're going to have a Rock Cake to get ourselves down to 1 HP. We're going to have a Rune Pouch with just however many casts you want to bring of either Smoke Barrage or Smoke Burst. So I'm bringing just like 10,000 of Air, Death, Fire, and then 5,000 Bloods, and then I can cast it 5,000 times. I'm going to bring 10 prayer potions. This is just that I can pray Mystic Might. I wouldn't recommend doing Augury if you do have it unlocked, as it does drain prayer, and honestly, Mystic Might is good enough in here. And then the rest of the inventory, just 12 absorption potions, just so that you don't actually die in there if you're down to 1 HP. And then, as with the last time, you'd want to talk to this guy over here, click Dream and then get a custom Rumble Hard. You'll have to pay 26k to be able to do that. And then you want to have a Count Drainer from the Vampire Slayer, King Roland from What Lies Below, Tree Spirit from Lost City, Xar Warlord from Tree Gnome Village, and the Black Titan from Holy Grail. These are the 5 that I recommend doing for this method. Then we will just click Accept and go inside here. As with the Melle method, we'll use our Overload. Overload gets us 19 magic plus. Now you can use the super magics, but the overloads are just a lot nicer and easier, and for the whole entire time you're up at that 19, you won't ever like decrease over time and then have to re-drink up. So that is why we do take overloads here. So then we will just get ourselves down to 1 HP. Make sure that you do get some absorption potion in you, just in case you aren't clicking fast enough and then something actually ends up hitting you before you actually like have some absorption potion up, and if you're at 1 HP you'll just kind of die. So then we're just going to wait until everything spawns. Now we want to lure everything together, so we'll just have to run over and then lure them all together. So we'll just have to wait for them all to get here. You want to pick a spot normally somewhere not too far, like somewhere semi in the center, and by roughly right in the middle I mean this square roughly around here. This way you'll be able to have not everyone attacking you at once, plus you'll be able to barrage them. This, you might remember, was what people used to do for Guthans. When you would AFK here, you stand in this square, so you have to attack a couple. Now you would now with this method, you will have to just target this guy over here, so that you hit everybody. You can't just auto-cast, like auto-retaliate onto this guy, but obviously it's not that hard to do. So we're just going to go set our thing onto spell here. We're going to hit the smoke barrage here, and we're just going to cast it on him, and then basically wait until he dies. That's basically it. Now sometimes the Black Knight here does not like to get hit too well, but even if you splash on him, it still gives you a good amount of experience, so it doesn't even matter that much. As you can see here, I'm getting good amounts of experience. Yeah, it's basically just this simple. Just keep attacking the secondary guy here. That's basically it. For any like of the power-ups that come, you won't actually be using any of them as you don't spec with magic. So yeah, it's basically this easy. Just make sure that your health never goes above 1 if at all possible. Whenever you need to re-overload. Make sure that you have your Mystic Might up, and that's basically the entirety of the method. Yeah, so let's get on to Rain. I'm sorry, one last note is sometimes you'll find with the Tree Spirits that they do like to get, like, they'll like come around as you saw them do with that, and then come stand over here, and then if you attack the second guy here, for example, it doesn't actually want to hit them. In that case, why we bring smoke is because it does also poison them, so it'll just kind of die off over time. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of how it is. There is, like, standing in the corners, it can be better as you can attack all 4, but you do, 1, get hit more, 2, you will potentially, if you don't, like, there's some it's just easier to stand in this spot. Basically every so often that'll just kind of happen. It won't affect you that much. As you can see, now they're all lining up a lot better with the person at the back here. So yeah, sometimes that will happen. It's just kind of one of those things that happens, just damage, and it'll kind of sort itself out in the end. And I would like to apologize here. The numbers that I said for the XP are actually incorrect. It is more closer to half of those numbers. I didn't actually notice that the methods that I was looking at to try and calculate these numbers were, for the most part, based off of having 2 people, like having 2 accounts in there, so there's more stuff to kill. So that is my bad. So it's more around half those methods. Obviously, honestly, the mage method to do here isn't the best, as for something like the skeleton monkey things after Monkey Madness 1 or 2 are both better to do here, but I was asked to do all 3 methods, so here we are. Okay, and for the range gear, I'm going to be taking Void. If you do not have Void, you can take Armadillo or a God D'hide. It is, if you don't have the Void, or at least the Elite Void. The normal Void is okay, but it's probably better to take here than the God D'hide, not better than the Armadillo D'hide, or Armadillo. But if the Elite Void is probably what I'd recommend taking here. Elite Void or Armadillo is like the 2 good ones, but Elite Void is what I take, as I find it a little bit nicer here. So we're gonna have plus it's a lot cheaper. So Void Range Helm, we're gonna have the Avis Assembler. Use whatever Avis Accumulator or Assembler, whichever one you have. We're gonna have the Necklace of Anguish, Ancient Blessing, or any blessing. Toxic Blowpipe, I use Mithril Darts here as they are pretty cheap but also hit really well. Void top, bottom, gloves. Purgation Boots, if you don't have the money for Purgations or for Rangers, just use a God Dehyde boot. And then the Archer's Ring Eye. As with all the setups here, do change this gear as your bank allows. So for example, if you can't afford the Necklace of Anguish, use the Fury, and I already gave you the example for the Purgation Boots here. So as I said, use as your bank allows, but the Blowpipe here is the one that you really want to have it be the Blowpipe. I wouldn't recommend doing this with anything other than Blowpipe. If a crossbow or darts, or just darts by themselves wouldn't really be that good. The Blowpipe does help a lot with them, so I would very highly recommend using the Blowpipe, so at least have 75 range. And as with all of them, talk to this guy over here, get yourself a custom Rumble Hard, and then for this one we're going to have Count Draenor from the Vampire Slayer, King Roland from What Lies Below, Kendall from Mountain Daughter, Skeletal Hellhound from In Search of the Myreque, to have Tree Spirit from Lost City. We're going to have Black Demon from Grand Tree, and we're going to have the Jungle Demon from Monkey Madness. If you don't have, you only have to have 5 of these bosses to actually get into it. So if you don't have any of these, if you only have let's say you don't have Jungle Demon, you don't have the rest of them, then you can just not do the Jungle Demon if you want to, but I would recommend having all of these. And then we will just want to enter in. Okay, so then once you have started it up, you'll get yourself down to 1 HP. Overload, rock cake, all of that. I've explained those already twice, so I just skipped through it this time. If of course your HP does go up to, just flick your prayer there, guzzle the rock cake, make sure you have your eagle eye on, and then you'll want to come stand here at the same spot for the mage. And if you were to this spot right here, it's just on the south hand side here. You can just see on load graphics here, this I don't know, you can see these black spots here, the darker tiles here. It'll just be at this one right here, just a little bit up from this blood over here, but down from these rocks. Once you're in game, you'll easily be able to see it. This way, they will all keep aggroing onto you. You'll just want to, of course, have your overload up, have your absorptions up, and make sure you keep your prayer up. And that's basically it. Just make sure you use your rapid, the rapid thing here. Don't use your spec as you don't want to heal. Any power-ups, don't use them as none of them help you here. Just keep going, and this is basically about it. Okay, and here we are for purely just the best points. We will be using Melle, as Melle is by far the best points here. You can easily get over a mil an hour. So we're going to be using Darroch's again. It's basically the exact same as the beginning Darroch's here, so just Darroch's helm, axe, body, legs, Fire Cape, Amulet of Torture, Ancient Blessing, any blessing here works, Barrow's Gloves, Primordial Boots, and a Berserk Ring Eye. Upgrade and downgrade this gear as your bank allows. In our inventory here, we're going to have a Blowpipe. I will get into this later. We have Ice Gloves, Granite Maul, a Holy Wrench, which is for the prayer potions, Rock Cake to get us to 1 HP, Overloads for plus 19, and then the absorptions for so that we don't actually die, and then the prayer potions so that we can pray piety. And what we will be killing here is Count Draenor, Cursed Trader, King Roland, the Candle, me, Mosh Giant, Trius Daith, I guess that's how you say it, Skeletal Hellhounds, Agrath Nar, Tree Spirit, Khazar Warlord, Arg, Black Knight Titan, Bouncer, gonna go a little bit down here, Black Demon, the bosses from Desert Treasure here, this guy from the Legends Quest, Jungle Demon, and then the ones from the Dream Mentor. This list will be in the description below, so don't worry about that. So as usual, you'll want them. You'll want to have gone to this guy, Dream, Custom Rumble Hard, and pay the 26,000 coins. Have this, accept, and go in. So as usual, overload, drink up some absorptions, and then just rock cake down to 1 HP, and then just put your piety on. Put whatever attack style that you want to gain experience in. Obviously this isn't for experience, this is just for the points here, but just put it on anyway. Have your piety on, and drink up, and then just basically start killing people. As you can see, for here, there's no one that has anything special. But why we have the Ice Gloves and the Blowpipe are for the following two bosses, Farid and Camille. So for Farid, you'll have to have the Ice Gloves equipped, or you won't actually be able to damage him. or it'll just keep unequipping your weapon, so that's why you will have to have the ice gloves just to kill him. You can have him attack you and then be killing other things. Like, let's say for example I was killing Bounce right now, and instead of there was Arg here, it was Fareed. I could kill off Bouncer and not have to worry about that, but when I want to actually attack Fareed, then I will have to put the ice gloves on to do any damage to him. So that is why we have the ice gloves. And then the blowpipe here is for Camille, as it basically can ice barrage you. And if you have melee on and you're trying to run towards him, you'll get stuck for a while before you'll actually be able to, like, hit him. So that's why we have this on, because it can be very annoying, especially if two of them end up spawning, then you'll almost never be able to move. So that is why you want to have the blowpipe, so that you can put that on and actually just range them to death, so that you'll be able to move again. As you can see there, I was spending the whole time talking there actually trying to use my rock cake. Now sometimes with all these things attacking you like how they are, it'll be like a struggle to actually put your rock cake on. That's why it is very important to flick the rapid heal. If you do get to 2 HP, just keep spam clicking it until it finally like works out. But yeah, that's basically it. As you can see here, I've hardly been here for any amount of time. I've had to drink a whole 1 prayer potion, and I already have 183,000 points. Now I have gotten very lucky. I've gotten 2 of the Dream Mentor bosses that you actually like. The Dream Mentor bosses are why you're here. They're the big points. I've already gotten a couple of them, so that is one of the reasons why I have a bunch of points here. But as you can see, you get a lot of points here. It's not that hard at all to actually get the points here. So as also for power-ups here, the ones that you want to use are Recurrent Damage, Zapper, and Power Surge. Power Surge is the one that makes it so that you can use Infinite Spec for X amount of time. Zapper does damage to them, as you had seen in like one of the previous clips there. It was doing damage to the ones around me without me even attacking them. And then Recurrent Damage just makes it so that the damage that I deal, I also deal a bit more damage on top of that. The Ultimate Force you don't want to do unless you have, for example, like right now, if I had this guy up, as you can see, he's about to give me a lot of points. I'm right up to like 270 now, right? He is one of the bosses that gives me a lot of points. I wouldn't ever want to use a Zapper when he's up. If you have, for example, like or a King Roland and then like 3 Desert Treasure bosses, yeah, if the Zapper's right there, sure, just use it, kill them off, and try to get better bosses. But for the most part, you won't want to use the Ultimate Force, as it just like kills all 4 of them off. You'll want to just keep obviously attacking them, getting points, because if you do use the Ultimate Force and kill them off, you do not get any points for their deaths. That is why you normally don't want to ever use that one. You just want to use the other 3. And also, I had forgot to say that the brother named Demis, he has 2 stages to him. The second one will actually drain your prayer down to nothing, very, very quick. So do watch out if you see him. Then do make sure that you kill him off super fast, and that your prayer is at low once you actually set him to the second stage. The first stage you can hit him and he won't drain your prayer, and he can hit you and he won't drain your prayer. But the on the first stage he won't drain your prayer, but on the second stage he will start to drain your prayer. So do make sure that when the second stage happens, you are at low prayer, or he will take your he'll just make your prayer go to 0. You'll lose all the prayer that you currently had, and she won't actually be able to flick your rapid heal. So make sure that you kill him off super quick, and that you do bring prayer potions. Because if you don't bring prayer potions, just bring a couple, even if you don't want to piety. Just because if you don't and he pops up, then you'll have no prayer. You won't be able to rapid heal flick, and it'll be a lot harder to do. And I would just like to thank you all for watching the video. If you did like, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching the video.